This is Debo's Overwatch blog from the days of September 7th through the 11th, 2016. If you guys get a chance, make sure you check me out at twitch.tv SPSDebo, at YouTube DeboSCS2, at Facebook DeboSC2, and the same for Twitter. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey guys, Debo here. Just wanted to guys show you, put up on the board one of the games I highlighted from one of the days or previous days. I've been doing a lot of different ranked. And I just want to go ahead and run through some statistics of basically what's going on and what I think has actually been influencing a lot of the gameplay, or how I think I'll be able to climb throughout the season, get the Diamond, maybe even up the Masters. Okay, so for our total games played from the 7th to 11th of September, we got about 99 games played total. A number of those wins is 50, and losses is 44. I didn't include every single match that I played, but I'm definitely working on that so we can get a better accurate number. I think my win rate's around 55 to 56%. Out of those days, I only received 5 draws. The points gained from winning the ones or games I calculated are 1,162. And the points from losing is 1,067. That's about a 162 point game, but like I said, I do believe it's a little bit higher because there's a couple games I didn't include and I went on a pretty good win streak. I just didn't decide to record the data, but I will be making sure I do record every single game every day as I update this on a daily basis. The beginning rank of the 7th was 2,448 for what my base, or the points that I had. And then I ended at 2,475, so a lot of fluctuations, but the beginning high point rank, or the highest rank for the whole season, was 2,550, which I initially placed, and I was actually able to get it up to 2,604, so about 100 points over 2,500, which is the entry-level point for Platinum. The highest character win rate I had was Zenyatta. Lowest character win rate was Torb, and I kind of broke even on Winston. The highest map win rate I had was Hanamura, and the lowest map win rate was the Industries. Now, something interesting I just wanted to talk about is I actually started categorizing the reasons why I win or lost. And for basically, if I lose a match, I just basically put it into these categories. Unskilled, which basically means simply was outplayed by the enemy team. We had an okay comp. We just got basically outplayed. Nothing we could have really done. Lack of communication. Basically, people are not communicating. You might have somebody who is on, let's say, your team, and you got 4 of them, and they happen to be all Korean, and they don't speak English. So that's lack of communication. Or you might have a pre-made group of 3 people that might be from your server, but they're refusing to join the voice comm, so all 6 members can be on, can be communicating, or anything along the lines of just basically we probably could have done better, or we could have won if we would have simply just been able to communicate a little bit better. Bad composition pick. Let's just say that you're on the King of the Hill map and you have a Bastion and a Hanzo. Nothing against those picks, but you're going against the enemy team. Let's say you pick a Bastion, or your team has a Bastion and a Hanzo. They have 1 tank that's a Roadhog. You try to be a team player, play a Lucio. And then let's say your last 2 picks, I don't know, were a Symmetra and Torborn. Just something really crazy. And you went versus a Lucio Zenyatta, Roadhog, Azaria, Soldier 76, and let's say, I don't know, a Genji, right? At that point, you pretty much just got outpicked. You were dead in the water once you showed up with your composition. Team could have picked something a little bit more standard along the lines of double DPS, double tank, double healer, but they chose not to. Or maybe you're not running a main healer. Anything like that is deemed bad composition picks. Angry teammates and toxicity is a category where just people are just inflaming each other, saying things like drink bleeds, my team's AIDS, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, disconnects or AFKs, which is just, you got an AFK person who's sitting in spawn, maybe his game glitched out, or he just basically rage quit. Now, out of this categories for the amount of games that I lost, the number one reason I actually came across that we were losing, or I deemed that we probably lost, why, is because angry teammates are in toxicity. Now, I know a lot of people might be like, well, Debo, that's crazy. That's crazy talk, Debo. Like, how can it be angry teammates or toxicity? Well, I know, it's crazy. I went down each log, and one of these categories, I just said, well, basically based on this situation, what caused us to lose, or what probably caused us to lose. And it wasn't like, it was just straight up just angry teammates bringing emotional baggage from other games. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're frustrated. Maybe they just came from a game where a guy trolled. I don't know. But just angry teammates and toxicity. Like when you suggest something, hey, can we switch this up? They say, fuck you, eat a dick, or go to hell, blah, 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 blah. That was the number one reason. And it occurred like at a rate of like 75% of my games was just basically to lack of communication. Was just to toxicity or just people getting very mad and spreading that kind of attitude to other people and getting them on tilt. So the one thing I've been learning is that I've been trying to be very just straightforward, non-confrontational, very monotone voice, not angry, and be very, talk to my teammate. Well, the reason why we lost is that and I always say we because collectively we all lose together. I would say something like, hey, the reason why they won is because they had a double support, double DPS, double tank composition, while we only had one healer, and that healer was an Ana. That's the reason why we lost. And then you say something like that. I talk to people like that in general. But even then, sometimes people be like, well, fuck you, it's not me, it's the Ana's fault, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to blame Ana. I'm just simply stating that the reason why we lost is this and this and that. And sometimes people will listen, and you can switch, and you can make, lemons out of lemonade, or you can make the best out of a situation. But a lot of times you'll be surprised. Just a lot of people just start blaming other people, or maybe there's not enough damage being done, and a person says, well, I got these many gold medals, what the hell you guys are doing? I've even been in situations where we're winning, and a tank is complaining that, oh, I got gold damage, what the fuck you guys are doing? You guys are all shit. Now, that may or may not be true. But the thing I realize is it's just pointless to try to just spread negativity or be an asshole to other people, and it's just even pointless to be that way if they get mad at you. I find that just trying to calm the situation down and calm people down in general actually produces more effective results, and you can actually end up winning a game that you thought was unwinnable and actually being able to get through it. I'm still like shocked, and I'm like still looking at these numbers. It's just that was the biggest reason. Was just people were just angry, upset, and I don't want to say the word toxicity because everybody says toxic for everything. We all know what it is. It's not like we have to look under a microscope and check every little thing. It's just when somebody's being an asshole. There's a difference between, hey man, we need to change to this and that, and if you could please, that'd be great. If you need me to switch out to something, that's not being toxic. Somebody just trying to give you constructive criticism or just trying to be honest or offering to be a team player. Say, I'll play this if you play this. It's pretty much just fuck you guys, I got all these gold medals, you guys are shit, or you should drink bleach, or my whole team is AIDS. I mean, I'm just giving really specific examples of what the toxicity is, and there's a lot of angry people on Overwatch, and I tell them, hey man, can you please calm down? If you keep getting mad, you're going to be on tilt, you're going to carry to the games, you're going to de-rank. If we all just calm down, we can pull together and do something. And you'd be surprised, a lot of times it actually does work, but there's a good majority of times when people tell you to fuck off, and the only thing you could really do if they're really annoying you is just mute them and move on. Now, after that one, it was followed by lack of communication. People not on voice comm. People not calling off certain things, like a Reaper slinking behind us, or we got a Reinhardt behind us, or, hey, that enemy Mercy is low on HP, let's focus her down real quick. Lack of communication was the second biggest thing that caused a lot of losses. So number one was toxicity. Second is lack of communication. Not calling out picks, not calling what you're going after, not saying, hey, this person's about to ult, or hey, I got my ult, I'm about to ult, let's all go in. So, yeah, I mean, there's not too much to go in depth about lack of communication. If you're not using voice comm, then you're hurting yourself if you're really trying to win in climate. Some people say, well, Debo, I don't want to deal with people and deal with their crazy stuff, and a lot of people are negative, and I'll agree with you. A lot of people get angry, a lot of people get negative, but you can always mute them. You could try to put your best foot forward, and you can have a kind act, and you just, not kind act. You actually legitimately try to be kind and helpful, and if somebody says, fuck you, go to hell, then you just basically mute them, and you keep talking to your team and try to communicate. Just tell them, hey, man, I know you're mad, I'm just going to go ahead and mute you. You mute them, and you move on, you keep trying to talk and communicate to your team. There's no reason for you not to be on voice comm. And if you don't have a mic, I don't mean to sound like an idiot, or not an idiot, but sound like mean. You can get a $5 to $10 mic at Walmart. There's no reason why you should not be on mic if you are playing competitive online. I mean, if you're playing competitive and you're trying to do everything you can to win, you need to get a mic. You need to communicate with your team. Somebody acts like an idiot, you mute them, you move on. Third one, big thing that causes losses was bad composition picks. Basically straightforward, you got outpicked. I'll tell you honestly, usually you just need to run 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 heals. If you run that, For the most part, you'll be good unless you get into the nitty gritty of stuff. Unless you go versus another team that does the same exact comp, except they're maybe running a Lucio Zenyatta and you're running a Zenyatta with an Ana. Unless you and Ana are really on top of your healing game and Ana's really landing her healing shots, you're really going to hurt yourself because that Lucio is going to be able to out heal everybody while the Zenyatta is going to add extra healing on top of that. But most importantly, he'll be able to focus more on damage and debuffing people. But for the most part, the third reason why people lose after toxicity, bad communication, is just from really bad picks. People not picking the appropriate things for the situation. A Torchborn pick is not going to hurt you on defensive maps, especially the Torchborn is trying to do things like that. It may not be the strongest pick, but I mean, is it a pick that you could actually warrant? Okay, I'm picking Torchborn. Is there a good map for it? Is my teammate pretty competent with think they can really utilize it? And sometimes it's okay to try something out, but then you switch immediately if it's not working out or you prove that your team is not being helpful. If I'm playing Torchborn, I see they're not giving me enough support so I can get my turret back up and hold a certain coverage of an area and prevent people from flanking us, then I might need to switch off to something else. But the one thing you got to learn is that a lot of things and a lot of decisions that you make, a lot of things that can influence the game and make the game easier is what you pick at the hero select before the match starts or what you switch to in the beginning, in the middle of a match. So what people have to realize is that, one, if you get on tilt and you start getting mad and getting upset, that will affect your gameplay. That is the number one thing that will cause you to lose. Even if you lose, if you just stay calm and don't tilt and just relax and focus on doing good in the next game, you won't carry all this emotional baggage. The reason why a lot of people on losing streaks, I'll be honest, is because their attitude and the way they think and they're negative and they're mad and they're upset from the last game, and you bring that emotional baggage to the next game, of course it's going to affect your play. Of course, you're probably going to have a higher chance of losing. Secondly, lack of communication. If you're not trying to call out things and communicate with your teammates, that's another thing that's going to be hurting you tremendously. And then, of course, the third one is if you're not picking good comps. Those are the top three things I've been noticing out of all these games I've been playing that have made big influences on making things a lot easier for myself. Now, the last one is just disconnects or AFKs. You really can't do with that, and I put that along the lines of trolls. You just can't deal with people who want to troll and leave or AFK or disconnect. You have no control over them. Just eventually you got to realize that you're going to go against a couple teams that are going to go through their disconnects, and that will balance out the ones that you get. But in general, just to talk about that, lack of communication, bad composition picks, and angry teammates. Angry teammates is number one. Lack of communication is number two. Bad composition pick seems to be number three. Now, that might vary in the next blog I put out, but I'm just letting you guys know what I've been dealing with. Let me see here. For the reason that I have been winning, or things have been going well, is just one category, or at least the number one reason I was winning a lot more is... which is weird in the reasons why I think we won, was had a better team comp. It wasn't necessarily about communication or being real positive. It's just we had a better team comp. The enemy team, I've even had games where people were trolling, being assholes to each other, and calling each other every blue thing under the sky. Calling them names, kill your family, horrible things that you should never say. Even though I've been prone to say it, but only after somebody said it to me, even then that's not appropriate. It's just having a better team comp. We're running a Lucio Zenyatta. We have a Roadhog and a let's say a Reinhardt. We have a Soldier 76, and we also got let's say we got a McCree or we got a Mai that fits the good situation. We just have a really solid team comp, and they draft something like they have a solo and a healer. They have one Roadhog tank and just a bunch of DPS. Some games, most of my games, we have won just purely from having a better team comp. And then after having the better team comp, the second thing that actually I said the reason why we won is just we had very good communication. Those are the big two things I've been tracking. And like I said, in the future vlog videos, I'll be putting that, what caused out of these last set of matches I played, what influenced the wins or the losses, the major outcomes. But it was, number one, we had a better team comp, which means team comp is very important. Two, we had very good communication. Communication is also very important. And three, the one I'm going to bring up right now, we had just had a higher skill level. Carried the game. It depends. If you play DPS, it might happen a lot more for you. But for me, it was a little bit different. It didn't work out that kind of way. And you know what? Just for the most part, that's just how it goes. So I hope you guys appreciate this little blog that I did. I'm going to be doing this more on a daily basis, uploading all my games and talking about what the win and losses were, what characters I ran, and how everything worked out. Of course, you guys can go ahead and click below and you can see the next video blog that I'm going to be releasing in the next day. That'll take you to that video. But as always, if you guys have any comments or you need any questions or stuff like that, just come over to twitch.tv and hit me up. Or if you're on the YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe and you can ask comments in the comment section. I'm just trying to do these daily blogs and bring out all this information about the Rank 2 season and how I'm doing, just so I can help other people out there, or we can maybe start analyzing our games and figuring out how we can make a better community, how we can improve the gameplay of our matches and competitive rank play, and maybe get some good ideas and suggestions from Blizzard so we can get a good Season 3 going on. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you check me out on twitch.tv, SPS Debo, all that good stuff, and I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for checking out the video. I'm Debo, and I'm out.